Absolutely nobody saw this coming, as we have a shocking New York Mets update to go over today that has a serious implication on this team, and now makes the decision for the Mets that really had them struggling and went through the entirety of camp trying to figure out with even them making changes to the roster. But now we also are seeing a separate change come because of this update as well. There's a lot to go over on the New York Mets right now, guys, because again, we got some shocking news that really has thrown a wrench into everything that the Mets were doing over this last month. But at the same time, kind of works out for what a lot of Mets fans did end up wanting to see. But it does complicate things on a separate level that we will also go into. Guys, there is a whole lot to go over on the New York Mets right now. And real quick, if you are part of that 75% that's not subscribed to Mets Digest, make sure to go ahead and subscribe, because we do have videos coming out every single day breaking down everything on the Mets so you know what is going on with this team at all times. But now let's jump into the video, guys, because again, there is a lot to talk about on the Mets right now based off how everything's went. I mean, look, it's been no secret that Carlos Mendoza and the New York Mets have been trying to figure out a way to decide what their right field plan is. With all the fans in the world wanting Carson Benge to get that chance out of the gate, it did feel like Benge completely and utterly played himself into that spot, while Mike Tauchman also hung around and fought to land a spot on the Mets in any sort of way. Now, Tauchman played absolutely excellent baseball and basically was a lock for the lineup until that is something changed. Now, Tauchman did everything in his power to make the Mets. And I mean, in spring training, having an 819 OPS, 241 batting average, he played solid baseball overall. But he ran out onto the field wrong. And when he did that, New York Mets outfielder Mike Tauchman has a meniscus tear in his left knee that will require surgery, as Carlos Mendoza said on Sunday, upending the club's opening day roster plans days before the start of the season. Tauchman, who suffered the injury in a game Saturday, had been projected to make the Mets roster after signing a minor league deal last month. Instead, he will miss the beginning of the season. Mendoza said a time will return is not yet known. The Mets open regular season against the Pittsburgh Pirates on Thursday. Look, I mean, it's obviously you don't want anyone to get hurt. I really like Mike Tauchman. I wanted him to make the team. I think he's a good player. I think he's a really underrated player. But like, yep, on brand. Just so on brand right here, dude. It sucks that Tauchman's hurt. I think Carson Benge was going to win the spot regardless. Not why it sucks that Tauchman's hurt, though. Because Mike Tauchman, Benge will play regardless. Tauchman is not a future plan. And Benge showed that he could play. But Tauchman was going to be on this team and he could hit well. And now it's going to take some more time because he ran out onto the field wrong. That just absolutely sucks. To see a guy who just, I mean, had a good year last year too. 263 batting average, 756 OPS. He was a legit MLB player. And then this happens. So, obviously, there are going to be some changes to the Mets that now come up because of that. And Tauchman overall still showed that he's going to do a good job at drawing walks and just getting on base. He does that well. It's what he does. His batting run value was in the 68th percentile, which is above league average and is quite good. He's also not the world's worst fielder by any means as well. Is he a great fielder? No, he's a little bit below average. But overall, he's a fine fielder. He is a good guy to have in your platoon. Well, now he is not going to be able to be in that platoon because of this friggin' injury, which just absolutely sucks the way that it worked out for everyone involved. Well, not fully everyone. Now, I mean, Carson Benge, who had an 874 OPS, 366 batting average, does officially make the team. It's been announced that Carson Benge not only has made the team, but will be starting in right field on opening day against the Pirates on Thursday. We will see Carson Benge be the Mets starter, which is what a lot of us wanted, myself included. But still, for this to happen the way it happens is just absolute insanity right now. I mean, this was a team that had way more depth initially, and now that depth gets hurt. It was mentioned by Carlos Mendoza that this is a guy that was pretty much in the mix, but we're still good with the options that we got here. Obviously, we got a lot of guys that are playing well, and we know injuries happen. It's tough for him, obviously, the team as well, but we still feel pretty good with the guys that we got here. Now, it was reported on by ESPN that the question, assuming Benge is on the roster, which he is whether the Mets will carry a fifth outfielder, which was the expectation before the left-handed hitting Tauchman's injury, or add another infielder. The leading candidates internally are left-handed hitting outfielder Jared Young and switch-hitting infielder Vidal Brujan. Now, those are the two guys that we do start to look at right now. And each is interesting in their own way. I mean, look, we just overall, we first look at Jared Young here. Young, well, just was not good at all in spring training, if we're being honest. He had a 150 batting average and had a 280 on base percentage and a 580 OPS. So obviously those numbers are not good. Those are not the numbers that you want to see out of a guy who now all of a sudden is looking like he's got a chance to make this Mets roster now. Over him, I would rather Tyrone Taylor. He doesn't really hit well either, but he's a better fielder overall with an absolute red light arm, and that gives you something to work with your fourth guy. Meanwhile, his career, just in the regular season of the MLB, he's never really found a way to make contact with the ball. He's shown power at times, don't get me wrong. I mean, a 724 OPS is not the worst thing in the world, but the 200 batting average is not very good at all. He's also only appeared in 105 games, and those have obviously, with the way things are going, not necessarily went to plan. Now, Vidal Brujan's more interesting. The Mets traded for him, giving away nothing in the process, and Brujan has spent some time in the MLB. He's got a 199 batting average and a 543 OPS since he got there, but in spring training, at the very least, his batting average was solid. He had a 273 average, and overall, the switch hitter knows how to run the bases and does have a solid glove. So there's things to work with there. Where in 2025, his batting average was a 253 with a 615 OPS. You gotta add Brujan if you're gonna pick one of these guys here. There's no doubt about it that you pick Vidal Brujan. He was way better, runs the bases better, and is a good fielder. Look, is Vidal Brujan the best option ever? No, but he's the best one the Mets have right now, if we're being completely honest with ourselves, to add someone else. And I know the Mets have a ton of infielding. It's not lost on me that they do, but Brett Baty is still around. That just pushes Brett Baty into the outfield more, which is completely fine. They've already shown that Baty is going to spend time in right field. He's probably going to end up spending time literally everywhere else too. First base, sure, when Polanco's DHing makes sense. He's gonna bounce around. There's no doubt about that. So putting him out in right field, where he could probably handle it. I mean, the one concern I'm having is he doesn't have a weak arm by any means. Does he have the world's strongest arm? I wouldn't say so either. I am leaning on the side of that he could play right field. He won't be a red light outfielder by any means, but he could do it. So that'll definitely be an interesting option as well. But going forwards, it does feel like it means one thing specifically. Carson Benge is going to be an everyday player for the Mets. And honestly, I imagine he's going to play well. Benge has shown everything that he's possibly could have shown. He's shown that he very much is ready for this and that he should come into the MLB playing really well. As long as he does, he's going to have an everyday role by the time Tauchman comes back. I wouldn't be shocked if Tauchman still finds his way onto the Mets roster. I mean, guys get injured. We know that happens, and Tauchman can also step in and play, I mean, either right or left field or hit the DH role, which is important, especially the way that Mark Vientos has not hit the ball at all in spring training. So I do imagine that Tauchman will stick around. Obviously, I hope he gets better soon. I do like Tauchman. He's got a good energy to him, and he will be helpful towards the Mets once he is ready to go. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day. I'll catch y'all later.